Okay, I was watching. Perfect. طيب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته لكل المتابعين أو اللي بيشوفوني. أنا بس هستأذن حضراتكم في استئذان واحد فقط، وهو إن يعني تصبروا عليا آه، حوالي ربع ساعة، لأن أنا أو 10 دقايق أنا شايف إن هو ده المهم إن أنا أبدأ بيه. وبعدين أنا هتكلم بعد كده باللغة العربية. لان انا محتاج ان انا اقول مجموعة رسائل مهمة جدا. اخواتنا في غزة، واخواتنا الفلسطينيين، والوضع اللي انا طلبت ان انا اقول فيه رأيي، وكان ليا وجهة نظر ان انا انتظر لمرحلة معينة عشان اقول رأيي كافة لقادة حماس، الناس في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، وللإسرائيليين. وانا طول عمري ما بحبش اتكلم في السياسه، وعمر الصفحه ما كان ليها اي علاقه بالسياسه. بس انا يعني استاذن حضراتكم ان كل واحد عنده شعور نفس الشعور اللي انا حاسه تجاه اخواتنا في غزه. اتمنى من حضراتكم ان انتم تنقلوا هذا الفيديو، لانه مش لازم الفيديو ده يقف عند حضراتكم، لان الرساله بتاعته مش للعرب، والرسالة غير عربية على الإطلاق، ولكن أنا هتكلم عربيا عن بعض المخونين، وعن بعض المشككين، وعن القطع اللي حاصل في بلادنا العربية، وعن الرسائل الغير محمودة اللي انتقلت من عدد من الناس المفروض المعني بيهم ان هم يكونوا ناس آه، بتؤثر في العالم العربي، بتفيد الناس، وان هي ناس مهمة في الوطن العربي او ليهم جمهور في الوطن العربي. فاتمنى من حضراتكم ان هتكلم بالعربي بعد الحاجة اللي انا عاوز اقولها. So dear followers across the globe, to all the people who are watching my YouTube channel or watching Facebook. I'm a doctor from Egypt, and I have been living in this country for years. And I am one of the people from the generation who has been raised and brought up to the point that we love peace and we need peace. We have met Jews, Christians, and Muslims across the globe in different conferences and in different places. I lived in Europe, I lived in the United States, and I have friends from all the different ethnic groups and different religious parties. And I think that we have seen that humanity is killed completely and destroyed in the last 1 month. And my message would be totally different for different people who are responsible for that bloodshed that happened for 1 month before. Just to remind you that this was the holy month of Ramadan, the most holy thing that we have as Muslims. 1 month back, Ben, which is Benjamin Netanyahu, he wanted to do a speech just beside Al Aqsa. And imagine that this guy sent 1,000 armed soldier into Al-Aqsa Mosque. They cut the cables of the loudspeakers of the mosque on the minarets, and they pushed people out of the mosque in the most holy month that the Muslims have. Escalation has been so fast to a point that you will only need injustice system, apartheid country, and a corrupted judge. You always need a corrupted judge to reach whichever goal that you want in your life, to do a massacre or to do bloodshed for all the mankind. And this unjust system with a corrupted judge, he gave a sentence to evict people of their homeland in a miserable way. They got them away of Sheikh Jarrah. This is the territory that they were living in. You got the corrupted system and judge to try to tell people across the globe that you are a country of law, and it's not a country of law at all when you evict people and keep them out of their houses every day just for one thing, is to make reigning, to reign the area and to have more powers of your regime across Palestine. You know very well, since the corrupted old judge or old politician, the Balfour Declaration, who gave you this land, that every day you are taking a step to get the Palestinians out of their homeland and to become a state of one side. And guess what? For years, we know Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he taught us how to deal with enemies in respectable and dignified manners. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught the Muslims how to stand in front of any oppression and aggression towards them. What happened is we have been for years telling Hamas, you are a terroristic uh, parties or groups or militia, that you are not even up to a level of an army. But I want to tell you something. I am 100% convinced that suicidal bombing is something that Prophet Muhammad did not tell people or Muslims to do suicide bombing. Is not to do a crazy action that you know exactly that you are going at the end to lose your life on that. This is unresponsible actions. If you do it, you're not a Muslim. But guess what? This is the only time we have seen Hamas doing a good job against your anti-doom, against the anti-missile system that you have, which is called the Iron Dome, which is one of the methods that you love to do. As if you got back old in 1973 when you were talking about Barleif line, that this is the undefeatable and this is the big myth that you always have. Each century, you coming up with a myth that it is not defeatable and you are the undefeatable army. But guess what? Some small rockets with drones has been penetrated that system heavily and has got lots of points to be attacked simply. Those people who we all the Middle Easterns and Muslims were telling them you are doing terroristic action by doing suicidal bombing. Nowadays, they are doing a good job by doing a good war, guerrilla style type of wars that you will never like to go through. Each single day for 3 years or more, I think it's 4 or 5 years, Avagai, you were doing a great job on the social media. Avagai and your army was doing a great job by building pages with millions. I can see it with 100, with I think it's 100,000 for each part that you are doing across the social media, which you have separate soldiers that they are sitting on that and doing a great war, but an intelligent war on the social media by trying to show that you are different country, that you love peace, that you want to do good intention with the Arabs, and you are trying even to talk about our food, our culture in a great love. Some people and silly people, they thought that this is right. Guess what? You destroyed all the good intentions that you were doing for 3 years with all the Egyptian singers, actors, uh, even the regular guys who are on the social media platforms who are thinking that Israel is in heaven. I have Israel friends and I have Jews friends, and I am so happy that that I can see like quarter of your people, the taxpayers of Israel, the taxpayers who are having votes, who are voting for you, they know exactly that the situation right now is chaos. And you were just selling them dreams. You were selling them that your security is going to be with power, and this excessive use of power will protect you. The iron missile doom that you bought it by millions of the billions of dollars you spend from the taxpayers to convince them that they are going to have eternal safety is not becoming safe. They are staying underground for their safety. They're scared. They are trying to protect themselves undergrounds from the missiles of Hamas, from the rockets of Hamas, from silly drones flying over Tel Aviv. But my question for you, why you are not playing it in a different way? Why you are not playing it in an extreme real peace? Why in each time you are hitting civilians with unjust system, with corrupted laws and corrupted judges, you run away and you run to United States and ask, please come United States, help us. And you find the eternal, unconditional support from United States for nothing. I'm talking to my American friends. We have been brought up that the Americans are the best country in the world in freedom, in giving people the good job, the good land, the nice marriage, the nice life, the American dreams. Until this moment, you didn't get it that you are giving Israel unconditional support. Like in 1973, with the help of Henry Kissinger, you made Egypt back a step, and you made the war of 1973 as a tie after we were advancing hugely in that war, defending our land and taking our land back. Henry Kissinger played smartly, and with the use of satellites at that time, airlift line has been given to United States in an operation which which is known as for our country as a Defreswar operation. The Israel people in Israel, they know it as an Abarai Haliv operation. You used technology at that time to make huge attack on Egypt, to penetrate our army cross the line of our armies, and then after that you made an airlift system, and that was giving eternal and huge support to Israel at that time, and you made the war tie. You even threaten the world that you are going to to use nuclear weapon to support Israel at that time, when the Russians told we are going to stand beside Egypt. This could be justifiable at that time. I'm gonna be clearly, extremely explicitly clear when I'm telling you at that time this was justifiable, tenable. You know why? Because you wanted the Soviet Union to get out of the Middle East. This could be justifiable. But what is your reasons now for giving eternal support to a country who is kicking the Muslims out of their mosque in the holy month of Ramadan, kicking people innocently, kicking innocent people away of their homes, and at the same time away of their mosques in the holy month of Ramadan? What is the reason? Biden, your secretary, associate secretary office associate, is not even trying to condemn the actions that they have seen by the whole world in front of the whole reporters. They didn't want even to say we are sorry for the civilians who were killed every day in Gaza. And someone say, we will do that, and we will continue doing that, and we will continue supporting Israel to that. So what do you think about 120 million people beside them in Egypt and other countries when they see this injustice, when they see this corruption, when they see this bias? I would like to tell you, I'll remind you, by your war in Vietnam, by your war against in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when you choose to have the excessive use of power, you choose the excessive use of power, and you regretted that. The real Americans who are really loving humanity and human mankind, they regretted that. Even your movies in Hollywood and in all the books, you regretted what you have done with civilians. You never won in Vietnam, neither than the apartheid imperialist system won in any other place across the globe, even in South Africa. Each time you practice injustice, and each time you kill human by an ugly face, and you look to the people in their face and say, we will continue doing that, you are not winning, you are losing. Look to the history. None of the people that you have been oppressed for years, you never escaped from that crime. I will remind you by an injustice, corrupted judge in Egypt, and this guy who was in Deng Shuai incident And I encourage you to watch what is called Denshwai incident. We call it as the Egyptians one of the things which made us hate England one day when the British killed farmers and lynched them in front of their people just because some British soldiers went all the way to the farmers and they were shooting some ducks, and when they get extreme heat, it was a very heated day, and when he got heat stroke, these soldiers died in front of their camp, of the British camp. And an innocent farmer who thought that this guy, just like, I need to help this soldier, even if he's against me or imperialist, when they tried to help them, they was mistaken, thinking that he's the one who is the murderer or killed that British soldier. And they got the whole farmers in a massacre. They lynched them in front of their families. This has to be said, and this has to be reminded every day in the history of the Egyptians. This was one of the things which made Egyptians hate England one day. Nowadays, England, they smartly know that the imperialism is not something that we have to continue through, but you are in the United States, you are starting to regain the notorious imperialism by helping imperialist country, apartheid countries, which they are saying, which they are dealing with the civilians in that way. Are you saying that Israel is a bad country? No. I am saying that I have known people, Jews, they are very good. They are extremely into the peace process. They want the peace process. If you want the whole sides to be happy, give them real right process. Give them a peace process which has to be true, not just games. Not just games to be said on the tables, negotiations, dirty politics for each one to win his election, for Hamas to win the election, for Ben to win the election. We are not going to stay for a longer time watching people winning elections, playing money games, and at the end of the day, they are killing civilians. So this is my true message to you. The end message to Hamas. Dear Hamas brothers, what I have to tell you about that? For years, we were thinking that your hand having some blood of the Egyptians and other countries. Some people was always putting your name in that, and it's the time that you have to come up and clear your reputation from what happened to different countries. For years, we were against some actions that you are taking, but truly today, you know who loved you the most. You have seen how the Egyptians and all the Middle East giving you eternal support. You are mistaken if you think that the Saudis or the Emiratis or whatever in the Gulf, they hate you. Never. You are our brothers. This is our case. We will deliver it to our kids in a nice way, in a human way. I am so happy that you have been into a war face to face, not a war that you can do suicidal bombing for civilians or whatever. You have to recheck all your calculations back, and you have to think who extremely love Palestine. Egyptians have been born in this conflict for years, and they are giving you eternal unconditional support as long it is not against human mankind, or it's not against civilians. We need peace in a dignified, respectable way. And to here, I'm ending my words in English, and I'm going to talk to people in Arabic. السيدات